Hey, hey, hey. All right. Today is day 21 of my 21-day live challenge. I made it, y'all. I did it. I'm so excited. I can't believe that I have been on here every single day for 21 days talking to you guys. But once again, this is LaQuitta Joseph with LaQuitta Joseph Enterprises, and I am here continuing my talks regarding probate. And I'm going to wrap it up today and put a big bow on it, all right? So yes, so thank you all for everyone who has supported me throughout these 21 days. It is greatly appreciated. I thank you so very much for being here and for watching. Okay, so let's wrap up this conversation on probate. And just to be clear, this does not mean I won't be talking about probate anymore, because I will, because that's what I do. So, but just in regards to these 21 days, let me just wrap it up a little bit for you. So first of all, unfortunately, people do die every day. And all of us are going to reach that point at some point as well. And so this entire talk about probate is really just to help us to be prepared for that day when it does come. It could be many, many years and moons away, but you just want to be prepared. And so that's what probate is teaching us, or what I hope that you're learning through these talks about probate, is that there are things that you can do while you're still here in preparations for that, in terms of what you would want for your family once you have passed on. And so really it's just helping to make their lives a little bit easier. Losing a loved one is really hard. If you've ever lost someone that is dear to you, you know what I'm talking about. And so that's enough in itself than to have to deal with the whole process of probate and determining and deciding, what should be done with your things that are left behind, because you cannot take them with you. Okay? So unfortunately, you cannot take them with you. So what I've talked about is to avoid probate altogether, you just need a living trust. If you have a living trust, then you will not have to deal with this whole probate process in your family, and not you personally, but your family would not have to deal with this, whether it's children or nieces, nephews, cousins, or whomever it may be, whoever your family and beneficiaries would be. But they would not have to go through the probate process. And just to be clear, the probate does cost money for them to do that. Of course, it's taken out of the estate itself, so whatever the costs are, they are able to recuperate that money, because the executor of the estate does get paid to manage it. So they do get compensated for that. So having a living trust to avoid it, or you need to have a will. Now, a will is not going to stop you from having to go through probate, but it will help the probate process be a little bit easier. And depending upon how complex, how many assets you have, could determine how long it actually takes, the duration. But at least having a will, everyone understands what your wishes are. Where did you want things to go? To whom? And how do you want things to be distributed? So other ways that you can help to avoid probate is by, having beneficiaries on various assets that allows it. So like 401ks and things like that, those would have a beneficiary. So that beneficiary, or those assets that have named beneficiaries, do not have to go through the probate process. Also, having paid on death. So you can do that with bank accounts, so that when you pass on, then you have already named someone who would get your funds that are in your bank accounts, and it would be paid on death. And then also having the joint tenancy, which I talked about last night, is with the right of survivorship. And so basically that means, like, you pass on, your spouse is remaining, and so that home automatically transfers over to them, and they don't have to go through probate to for that process or to get that house. So, but if you do have to go through probate, you know, it can be complicated and complex. I recommend that you have an attorney who specializes in probate cases and things of that nature in these states. So have an attorney, and then also you could have a certified probate specialist like myself. And so that can help you through that probate process and helping you navigate the waters of the probate court. Okay, so now let's just do a quick recap on what that probate process looks like. We've talked about this along my 21 days, but I wanted to just recap it all for you. So basically, you would go out, you're going to petition the court for the probate process to start that process. So if there is a will, you were named the executor in that will, then you would petition the court. Basically, you're filing a document that says you want to initiate the probate process. In that process, you would the courts and you and your attorneys would submit paperwork to notify the creditors, notify any beneficiaries that were named there. You would also want to identify or compile all of the assets that the deceased may have. So pulling all of those things together, making sure that you have not missed anything or anything that they may have that they own and that they own by themselves. So making that key, that something that they own and only they owned it, okay? Then after that, once you've compiled all those things, you send out the notifications. Now what you want to do is to determine what is it that you want to be done with, say, real property, which is real estate. So whether you want to sell it, whether you want to rent it or keep it. And so you would discuss that. That is something and a decision that would need to be made amongst the beneficiaries. They would need to approve that, and then the court gives that go-ahead to say, yes, you can sell that property. Also, you would want to identify and determine what is it that you want to do with any personal property. So those are things that the person may have, like rings, jewelry, or cars or anything else that they have, that they own themselves. So that you would want to make sure and determine, again, with the beneficiaries, what exactly do they want to be done with their things. And so that's a real thing. So it may be that they may decide that they want to have a yard sale to sell off some of the things. That would be funds and money that goes back into the estate. Again, anything that belongs to the deceased becomes a part of this estate. So you cannot just sell it to anyone and just keep the money however you want. If you identify these things as their assets, when you sell them, those funds need to come into that estate, okay? So yeah, so personal property, you may have a yard sale, you may want to have an auction, an estate sale, just depending upon what type of things they own. So if they have an art collection, you may want to do an auction. You may need to have someone to come in and appraise those items for you, especially if they have antiques that they own, because all of those things become a part of the estate. Okay, and again, like I said, the beneficiaries, they all need to agree that that is what you're going to do with those things. Once you have that done, now you're going to pay the taxes, you're going to pay the creditors, and then any money that is remaining and that is left over gets divided between the beneficiaries based upon what has been described in the will. So however they want it to be split, then that's how it would be split. They would be compensated for that. Once all of those things have been taken care of, now you as the executor of that estate, now you can petition the court to discharge the personal representative. And again, as I discussed before, the personal representative is either the executor, this is the person that is named in the will, or they can be an administrator, meaning there was no will and the court has appointed someone else to handle the estate. Once all those things are done, The court will review all of the activities that the executor has taken, and if everything is in order, then they will issue a final order, and the probate case will be closed. So that is the probate process in a nutshell. I hope you all enjoyed this. If you have any questions about probate, or, if you're going through probate now and you want to ask me questions even now or later, please just DM me here on Facebook. It's okay. Or you may call me. My number is 770-363-3860. Again, if you have any questions, you need any help to work through a process that you're dealing with, then call me or DM me, okay? Thank you so much, and this is fun seeing you all. I'll be back. I just won't be back every day, okay? I'm working on establishing a cadence for doing these lives going forward, but it won't be daily. I'm sorry. Anyway, y'all know I love y'all. Okay, talk to you later. Good night.